What's going on, my soul family? Welcome back to another episode of the Awake with Jake show. On today's episode, I'm going to be dropping in and talking about why you should be embracing your joy. Now, where does joy come from? I feel like joy comes from a place of childlike innocence. And when we're children, we're free, we're playful, we're present. But as we grow older and we become these adults, we get stripped away from our purity and our innocence. We get programmed with fear and guilt and shame. We get brought into this system where we are bombarded with other people's beliefs and projections. So we start to lose this childlike innocence. We start to lose this joy. Then we get into relationships that don't serve us because we're not happy with ourselves. So how could someone else possibly be happy with us? They can't. We go to a job and do work that's unfulfilling to us because we're not really aligned with the vibration of joy, with the vibration of love. Here's the thing. When you're in alignment with the qualities of love and joy and peace, you become a magnet to attract more of that into your life. You start attracting everything that you actually want into your life by being the energy that you wish to attract to you. So many of us, including myself for a very long time, have gotten too serious in life. We forgot the flow and the dance of life because we've been locked into this business-like mindset where we're always grinding, we're always hustling, we're always working, and we're constantly burning ourselves out. But when do you ever take time to just drop into your childlike heart and embrace the qualities of love and joy? Have you gotten so serious in life that you forgot what it feels like to laugh, to dance, to play, to sing, to do things that you love? It's so important to remember to not take things too serious in life. Now, I understand from going through many traumatic experiences myself that we can get really caught up in the heaviness and the thickness of it all, especially when we're going through something. Maybe you're going through a breakup, or you've lost a loved one, or maybe you got fired from your job or something like that. And you're experiencing what some might call a dark night of the soul. And in those moments, our ego gets very serious. Our ego is really clinging to that attachment of suffering, that attachment of fear, that attachment of doubt. But here's how I choose to view it. And what I've trained myself to do and continue to train myself to do is to look at things coming into your life as teachers that are actually being sent by the universe, by your angels, to help you ascend further. Look at it as being in earth school right now. You've been brought into this school system, this big cosmic school system, and every bit of your life is a constant teaching. You can look at it as a teaching, as how can this help me to further ascend? How can this further help me to awaken? And we look at things in our life as a teaching, as an initiation, instead of a way to suffer more or to victimize ourselves. When you're going through something, even just stopping and asking yourself the question, what is this here to teach me? Why is this showing up right now? Will automatically pull you out of that victim mentality. Now, what I mean by victim mentality is when we experience something painful, our ego mind automatically goes right into retreat of, this is happening to me. The ego doesn't realize that this is actually happening for my growth, for my ascension. Your higher self knows that pain is a great catalyst for transformation. And if I look back at my life, I realize that some of the greatest mentors I ever had were some of the most painful moments of my life. Pain being dropped down on my knees in the middle of the desert, just crying hysterically, asking for full surrender, asking for forgiveness from the universe, and just fully surrendering myself. pain going through hard breakups, pain going through traumatic experiences with my father, pain watching my sister stick a needle in her arm, getting addicted to heroin, pain being bullied and beaten throughout my high school and child years. So you really have to start to ask yourself, how can I use this pain? Because pain is just an energy. Fear is an energy. You can take that energy and transform it and transmute it into the light. And that's exactly what an alchemist does. An alchemist takes fear and they transform that vibration of fear into love. You're taking the darkness in your life and you're learning to transmute it to love, to light. Now, that's not some superhero person. You, the person listening to this right now, has the ability to transform your darkness, your fear, your shame, your guilt, your doubt. And you can start slowly transforming and transmuting that energy into a higher vibration, a vibration that's going to serve you, a vibration that's going to help other people, a vibration that's going to help the planet heal. And it all starts with just one little thought of, how can I make my life more fulfilled? And you'll notice the more you focus on filling your cup with joy and love and abundance, guess what? Eventually that cup starts overflowing with all of those qualities of love. But here's the thing. If your cup is so full of all of these past wounds that you've experienced, like I went through so much in my life, you can't possibly bring in this new energy. So it's really important to take some time to purify and cleanse out your energetic system to release you from these grips, from these hooks of the past. You think about why you suffer. We suffer when we are living in time, meaning that our mind is projecting into the future. Our mind is projecting into the past, worrying about the past. But when you're living in this pure, eternal present moment, you end the suffering. So when you're embracing the qualities of joy, you're present. Think about back when you were a child. Maybe you were playing on the playground with some of your best friends at the time. You weren't thinking about anything else except for playing in that moment. Maybe recently you've had an experience like this. Maybe you were watching a sunset and you weren't worried about snapping pictures or telling somebody else about it. You were just so present in that moment. Now imagine if you could start creating more moments like this in your life. Imagine that if your life became an eternal present moment and you stopped worrying about the future, you stopped worrying about the past, you started doing things that you love. And the more that you embody the things that you love, you trickle that into all areas of your life, and those around you actually begin to feel that vibration. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to ruffle some feathers, because people around you may get triggered by your light. And that's what happens is when your light really starts to shine, either people are going to raise with you and raise their vibrational frequency with you, or they're going to start falling off because they're going to be so triggered by your light, because your light is actually mirroring back to them their light. But what happens is their wounds and their ego is not ready to see the light because they have such a big wall in front of their light. And you mirror back all of those amazing qualities and they're not ready for it. That light, it's like waking up in the morning and the sun is just beaming through you and it's beaming right into your eyes in the morning. That's what happens when you start to awaken, when you start to heal, when you start to release the trauma, when you start to embrace your childlike innocence in the qualities of love. That is my message for you, is to embrace the qualities of love and to stop hiding, to stop waiting for someone else to validate you, to stop waiting for someone else to approve you, to stop waiting for anything, but show up fully, show up with the alignment of your true, authentic self. When you start shining your light, other people will benefit from that. But you have to realize that. You have to realize that, hey, I'm going to choose consciously to look at my life as a blessing, as a teaching. to not continue to take things so seriously. We get so caught up in this rat race mentality of taking everything so seriously. Bring yourself back into your childlike innocence and see how that feels. Right now, just smile. Just close your eyes and feel how good it feels to be anchored in your childlike heart, to release those things that you've taken too seriously, to release the suffering that you've been attached to and holding on to for so long. Life is so much more beautiful and so much more full when you're choosing to move and embody the qualities of love. It's like, have you ever ate a meal before and felt really satiated from it, very full, but in a healthy way? Now, that's because you were feeling love. So now imagine being satiated with the qualities of love and embodying those qualities of love. But what happens with a lot of people, and I did for a very long time myself, is we become these hungry ghosts. And we have these huge, ginormous bellies that can never be filled. And we have these tiny little mouths that we can only fit so much food in. So we're constantly hungry. We're constantly starving because we're going for our lower chakra, our lower energy desires, the lust, the safety, the power, the security, all of those things that we seek, the lower stuff, and we grasp at it. We do that and we actually take away our light. We rob ourselves from our innocence. We compare ourselves to other people. We judge other people. We judge ourselves. We blame ourselves, and we're never really gentle with ourselves. I want that to really resonate with you and allow that to really land. Do you sit there and compare yourself to other people? Do you judge? Are you always seeking the next best thing? Are you giving in to your lower desires of lust and being controlled by the need for power, or constantly shaming yourself or feeling guilty and not speaking your truth? You really got to start to ask yourself these questions. And then once you identify the areas of your life that you may be weak in, you can start to strengthen those things with your awareness, with your conscious practices. And by doing so, little by little, you'll notice you're getting more and more free. That's the goal here in this life, is to get free, to awaken to a point where we no longer have to choose to continue to suffer. We have the ability to awaken to a point in our life where we feel free. But if you're chained to the wall, you can't help other people get free. The first person that you get to help is yourself, and doing the real work and embracing the qualities of love and joy. And it's difficult, I'm not going to lie, because everything around you and everyone around you, for the most part, most people, I won't say everyone, but this whole system in this third dimension of reality is designed to keep you asleep, to keep you unconscious. Turn on the news, what do you see? Fear, death, doom, destruction. Most of the foods people are consuming are dead foods. They're lowering your vibration. The conversations that people are having are negative energies, spewing this negative energy out, complaining, comparing, judging. It's all negative energy. So when you're feeding into this negative energy, when you're aligning with things that don't really serve your highest good and your true calling in life, you're just staying stuck at that vibrational energy. So do an audit of your life and really be honest with yourself too, and ask yourself, where does my life need work? Maybe I need to set some conscious boundaries. Maybe I need to embody my childlike innocence more. Maybe I need to heal my inner child because I've been abandoning him or her for so long. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this message. I hope that it brought you a ton of value. If it did, take a moment and share it with someone that you love. And as always, stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.